Salute. What's happening? It's Nocturnal Thoughts. This video is going to be a response video to Big Dose513. He left me a text message on my video last night, and I told him I would directly respond to his question. Now, looking at his message again, I wish I could. I don't have it set up to where I can read off my phone into another camera. I wish I could, so I could verbatimly address exactly what he said. You know what I'm saying? But I got to work with what I got. I'm not set up like that right now. But Big Dose513 basically was saying that, in his opinion, a cheater, once he asked me if a fighter gets caught with PEDs and performance enhancing drugs, then should that be exposed? Should that be highlighted? He's saying that as a fan, he feels like cheating in a sport is cheating. There's no exceptions. And as a fan, you should be able to highlight if someone is caught cheating using PEDs. I'm going to talk about that, my opinion on that. He asked me what was my opinion on, a fighter being caught with PEDs, and what is my opinion on exposing and highlighting when a cheater gets caught. You know what I'm saying? He also said, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, he said, not all LDBC members are Wilder fans, are Errol Spence fans, or even Charlo fans, and he said basically that the LDBC is a group of like-minded brothers and sisters, our brothers and sisters that have come together to uplift black fighters because they feel like black fighters don't get uplifted the same way other races do their fighters. He gave an example how now you get people saying when Tyson Fury won that a star is born, and when Deontay Wilder has been defending his title for 5 years, all of a sudden when he loses and Tyson Fury wins, now a star is being born. So his argument is that the LDBC is a community that's going against that type of mentality, the type of mentality that tries its best to keep black fighters at a lower level of recognition and put other races of fighters on a high pedestal to be praised and idolized. Okay, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. He might have covered a few other things also, but like I said, I'm not set up to where I can read his message verbatim. But he made some good points, and I wanted to directly address that, especially my opinion on the PEDs and cheating and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Cheating in the sport of boxing, but just cheating in sports altogether, and the use of PEDs also. I want to talk about that as well. So bear with me. I hope I don't stretch this video out too long, and I hope I don't go on a rant for too long. But, you know what I'm saying, I haven't even did my workout yet. So I'm going to try to do this video, then do my workout. You know what I'm saying? Because it's in my mentality and I keep digesting it. I just want to get it out now while it's kind of fresh on my mind. Then I'm going to keep it moving, right? Okay, so one of the main things that I love about boxing, what I hear other people that's boxing fans love about boxing, is that it's the most truest sport. And it is a sport. So there must be rules, there must be laws and guidelines. But to me, boxing is no exception to any other sport. Rules, laws, guidelines, all that shit gets blurred. It's all in details of writing. It's just like, watching football. Whenever there's a play, you can have a bunch of meetings of the minds and say, that's not a touchdown, that is a touchdown. That's not a foul, that is a foul. That this rule doesn't apply. to, you know what I'm saying? It's like they make up shit on the fly. They make up as it suits. You know, just like in boxing, there's rules to the sport, there's laws to the sport, but at the same time, rules are made to be broken, laws are man-made, and it's not realistic. It's not life. Real life, and that's the thing about boxing is it's one of the best, truest forms of sports that parallel real life. You know what I'm saying? The grit of real life, the ups, the downs, getting knocked down, getting back up. Life is a battle. Life is a war. Life is one man against the world. You know what I'm saying? And how you're going to take on all the obstacles, and how you're going to, you know what I'm saying, look at defeat and rise up and all these things. Boxing is taking the totality of life and putting it in a form of which we can appreciate as an art, as a craft. But at the same time, it's based off of real life. And in real life is not ever going to be fair. It's always going to be, life is going to cheat you. Life is going to cheat you. Life is not going to be fair. Everybody, when you go out in this world, when you in your own home, but when you go out in this world, everybody's not going to be playing by the rules. Nobody's going to be playing by the rules. Nobody's going to be, you know what I'm saying, going by the laws. Laws are man-made. Everything, laws and rules and everything like that, it's just a way of trying to marginalize human nature. And there really are no rules that are going to be indefinite to where you can't go outside and blur the lines, right? In my opinion. Let me move, get a little bit better lighting, right? Get out the sun, right? Okay, so that's just my opinion. So when I look at boxing, I don't expect it to be set fair and perfect. Man, this beard is getting ridiculous, yo. I don't look at it to be fair and perfect. You know what I'm saying? I expect there to be foul play. I mean, that's why you have so many rules that they try to put in place when it comes to boxing. Now, I know you might not agree with me, Big Dose. I hope I'm saying your name right. I think it's Big Dose513. And salute to you, man. Thank you for watching. But in boxing, you got to expect to be cheated, some form or fashion. It happens. Now, we want an even playing field. Just like when we talked about this whole glove gate thing, one of the most biggest examples, one of the most common used examples is Floyd Mayweather going into war with Marcos Maidana and his issues that he had with the glove, not having enough padding in the glove. Now, he caught that. Him and Leonard Ellaby, they caught that. They exposed that. And they said, we the A side. We make the rules. My hands is brittle. I'm not fighting in these gloves. So he's using his power to you know what I'm saying, make this rule, this kind of guideline apply suited to him. Like if Floyd Mayweather didn't have brittle hands and Floyd Mayweather had strong hands and he didn't care about the padding, Floyd Mayweather would have been like, you know what, we fighting in these gloves, I'm about to knock you out. You know what I'm saying? Because he had the power to persuade whatever he wanted that to do. So we use that as an example, but to me it's just an example. When you're talking about, I don't want to lose my true train of thought. You know what I'm saying? My true train of thought is you can't always do that. Sometimes you're going to get cheated. You know what I'm saying? Like it's good. I applaud Mayweather for using his power to persuade, to make sure that they played by the rules he wanted to play by, right? But also at the same time, once all of everything is negotiated, once you got everything intact and it's one man in the ring versus another man in the ring, once that bell goes off, that's it. There's no time to go back and fine tooth comb over all the laws and guidelines. All that's done and said and over with. Now it's just time to get it on. Now it's just time to fight. Now it's just time to go to war. So that's my point of that conversation when it comes to not excuses, but the point of going over the excuses, are going over the details of what was supposed to happen after it happened. Yes, I agree with you. It should be highlighted. But if you have an opportunity, if you have the opportunity to go back into war, there's only so much you should pay attention to what happened in the past that could be used as an excuse to why you lost or why you didn't lose. You should look at it and examine it, but then you should move on. Now, because everybody gets cheated. You know what I'm saying? There's no rules. All is fair in love and war. And when you once okay, say it like this, once you lose, it really, to the victor goes the spoils. To the victor, when you are victorious, you get to write the history the way you want to write the history. Once you win and you become victorious, you get to design the narrative. When you lose, even if you are truthfully explaining what happened, it is too late, because you don't have any, you are a loser. And a loser is not in the position to argue why he lost. He's only in a position to try to find a way to regain a better position. Once you lose and get knocked down, it's your job to figure out a way to get back up. You cannot get knocked down and contemplate the reasons why you got knocked down, whether they be valid or invalid. You just supposed to download it and then get back up and make sure it don't happen again. And then once you win, if you choose to go back and highlight what happened, you can do that, because it's only going to make you look better. If you win a fight and you say, this dude cheated me, but look how I still was able to be victorious, then you can go back and say, look at what he did. He loaded his gloves, he took the padding out, he did this, he hit me low, he hit me behind the head, and I still won. Because now you're in a position to write the story however you want to write it. And it doesn't sound like an excuse. It sounds like you overcame obstacles by someone that was using dirty or illegal or cheating tactics. Like, for an example, Muhammad Ali versus Sonny Liston. You know what I'm saying? Because when you look at that story, when you look at that fight, you don't look at that fight and say Sonny Liston tried to cheat Muhammad Ali. You look at that story and say Muhammad Ali beat Sonny Liston, who was this guy that had the power, who was so strong, who was so indefeatable. Sonny Liston was so strong, there's stories about him hitting somebody in the face, and when the person took out their mouth guard, their gum shield, teeth was coming out. Muhammad Ali said he watched Sonny Liston sparring one time, and he had the power when he was hitting his opponent. It looked like he had the ability to break their arms from punches. Now, I said that to say this. Sonny Liston was supposed to be this guy that could not be defeated. Muhammad Ali was this young, big mouth kid that was supposed to go in there and get, you know what I'm saying, completely obliterated. That's not how we remember history, though, as Sonny Liston cheating at all, because Muhammad Ali won that fight. You know what I'm saying? He was, with your eyes can't hit what your eyes can't see, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, rumble young man, rumble. You know what I'm saying? It was like, in that fight, there was a point in time where Muhammad Ali was blinded. There was some kind of solution that Sonny Liston and his team supposedly put on his gloves, and he rubbed it in Muhammad Ali's eyes, and Muhammad Ali couldn't see, similar to like Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport or something like that, right? And there was a period in the fight where he might have started losing that fight because he couldn't see. Muhammad Ali's trainer said he took a little bit and put it in his eye, and he said his eye just completely burned and flared up. But Muhammad Ali overcame that. He cleared his eyes up. He went back to floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee, and he dethroned Sonny Liston. So now when we think about Muhammad Ali versus Sonny Liston, we think of two things. We think of I shook up the world, I shook up the world. And we think of the second fight where Muhammad Ali is standing over Sonny Liston like, get back up. Nobody's going to believe this fluke, this flop you're trying to do. That's the two memories we have. The memory of Sonny Liston rubbing something in Muhammad Ali's eyes is a faded, distant memory because Muhammad Ali won. If Muhammad Ali would have lost that fight, and he would have came out and said, the only reason why I lost that fight is because Sonny Liston rubbed something in my eyes. I couldn't see. And there would be plenty of people that would look at that fight and they would see sometimes Muhammad Ali flicking at his eyes. But at the end of the day, nobody would care Muhammad Ali was saying that he lost that fight because something was in his eye. At the end of the day, most people would have said the history would have been wrote. The history would have been wrote and remembered as Muhammad Ali, this young dude, big talking, came in there trying to box and getting beat by Sonny Liston. Nobody's gonna sit there and focus on Sonny Liston rubbing something in his eyes, because to the victor goes the spoils, and the victor gets to write the story, and the victor gets put on the pedestal and idolized. Like, my point is this: when Deontay Wilder lost that fight against Tyson Fury, people had so many things to say about the suit excuse. Oh, this is the most preposterous, ridiculous story I ever heard of his suit being too heavy. And then once the glove gate first one came out, oh, this is the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. He had the glove flicking the jab, and the fist is in the wrist, and blah blah blah. That's so ridiculous. And then the glove gate 2 coming out, and everybody saying this is just getting out of control. It's so ridiculous. Now all of a sudden Tyson Fury's there's no padding in his glove, and look at this Photoshop picture. And you know what I'm saying, look at this video of JD's sitting there watching his hands get wrapped. What is they talking about? So they can say all of that shit now with validity, because they are in the position of they winning. They winning right now, so they can say what they want to say, because everything that comes out sounds like an excuse. But if you had the mentality of when you can be hypothetical and go back, I heard people say something like, oh, and this guy, he came up with this guy rapping. Nobody's ever heard of this rapper. The song was horrible. And imagine if some white guy came out with all this song about white this and white that and blah, 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 blah. It goes on and on and on and on. But all that would have been completely erased if Deontay Wilder would have won the fight. If Deontay Wilder would have won the fight, then everything that's being ridiculed and everything that's being, you know what I'm saying, joked about, all that stuff would be in complete reverse. All that stuff would be praised and highlighted and put in a position of, you know what I'm saying, overcoming obstacles, and all that stuff would be celebrated. His suit would be celebrated. The LED lights would be celebrated. From now on out, every other fighter would be coming out with the LED lights and shit, trying to copy his style, because they want to be like a winner. You know what I'm saying? They want to be like a winner. When Deontay Wilder came out with the gold and white suit with the crown, Sean Porter came out with a very similar suit when he fought Errol Spence. Clarissa Shields was coming out with the same type of suits, looking like a female version of Deontay Wilder. You know, if he would have won that fight, and then after he won the fight, and he said, man, I felt like Tyson Fury had loaded gloves. Tyson Fury had his glove in his wrist. I felt like the suit was too heavy. All that shit would have been like, man, Deontay Wilder's suit was too heavy, and he still won. Deontay Wilder was fighting Tyson Fury, who cheated, but he still won. That's what I'm saying. When you lose, to me, you can't go back and look at the things that went wrong and stay there too long. Look at them, fix them, and move on. You know what I'm saying? When you lose. Period. You know what I mean? Now, to move on from that, I hope I covered that enough. I know I didn't, because I can just go on and on and on and on, and I won't. The video is almost 20 minutes already. And I got to go do some pull-ups. But as far as the LDBC lifting up black fighters, man, please, I salute that. I don't even got to stay on that for long. I like how you separated, saying that all LDBC are not just Wilder fans and Charlo fans and Errol Spence fans. I salute that. I understand that. I agree with that. That was my point against this BDA. It's like, to me, they was trying to put everybody in the same box. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like that. I like for people to have enough wits to try to give people individually their credit and their props. And when you want to slander somebody and tear down somebody, you should be able to do that individually as well. Don't just look at a whole community and say, you know what I'm saying, generally all these guys think the same way. You know what I'm saying? They have a sheep mentality. All the Deontay Wilder fans are idiots. All that's that bullshit I found to be very, very disrespectful. And if you want to talk like that, then I feel like we should just go to fisticuffs. Fuck all the talking. You know what I'm saying? You're insulting people's intelligence. How about you just get it on? How about you just come to some physical agreements? That's how I look at that situation. So I agree with you in a lot of ways, and in a lot of ways, as far as, you know what I'm saying, the comment that you left, I respect and I appreciate your comment, and I wanted to address it directly, because when the fighter's using PEDs, I might stretch this video out a little bit longer, bear with me. When the fighter's using PEDs, see, I'm at a point now where I feel like PEDs need to just be, let everybody have access and use PEDs. I might have to make a whole nother video to explain why I feel like PEDs should just be legal. Because I just feel like when you're trying to put out this fake idea that the majority of your top elite athletes are natural, it's just creating this issue. Because I'm just going to be honest with you. All these guys is using, like Nate Diaz said, all these guys at the top level, they using something. All of them. The majority of them. And the ones that aren't, and they still being successful, those are the only ones I feel like are not getting a fair shake. But if at the same time, if they natural and they still winning, you know what I'm saying, then I wouldn't even complain about that. But all these guys that's getting caught using PEDs, they just getting caught. You know what I'm saying? When you get caught, then you look bad. It's not a good look. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and so people going to highlight something that's not a good look. You're going to highlight when this person get caught. But you're not highlighting when people not getting caught. You're just accepting that they not cheating. I don't believe that. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like in the case of it was Carl Lewis, when he got beat in the race, you can go back and look at Carl Lewis, and he was using stuff too. But when he lost and he got beaten, this guy got caught. You see what I'm saying? All these guys, to me, the PED thing is just a distraction. It's just a deflection. Because all these guys use, not all of them, but enough of them use it to where I feel like if you legalize it, you let them use it, still the cream of the crop is going to rise. And the ones that's not good enough, PEDs ain't going to help them get good enough. See what I'm saying? So if you make it to where everybody can use it, it'll just expose people to say, okay, I'm using this, I'm using this, I'm using this. You know what I'm saying? Versus that few people that's really trying to go 100% natural, and now you're creating an uneven playing field. Because this guy is trying to do everything 100% natural, and he's going against this guy that's enhanced. But to me, everything should just be out on the table. Everything should be transparent. You know what I'm saying? I should know what you use, and you should know what I use. I should know what you use, and you should know I don't use. You should know that I use, and I should know that you don't use. But it should all just be out in the open. But don't be trying to act like there's people that's like Anthony Joshua. He hasn't been caught, but I mean, come on, man. Anthony Joshua takes some kind of performance enhancer when he was at his most muscular and big neck, and he was taking something. Okay, Tyson Fury been caught. He takes something. Deontay Wilder is one of my favorite fighters. Am I saying he's no? I'm not saying he is, but like people say, all the injuries that he's had, it's recovery. When you take performance enhancer, it's usually for recovery. It's usually for training. You know what I'm saying? It gives you a better edge in being a better athlete. But all these guys take something. You know what I'm saying? LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? Like Michael Jordan. I would not be surprised if at one point in time, Michael Jordan, when he put on his little muscle, when he was getting banged up by the Detroit Pistons, and he had to start lifting weights and get a little bulkier, if you don't think he was taking something, come on. I mean, who cares? I don't care if they take PEDs as long as it's transparent and everybody knows what's up. And nobody's not coming in this thing completely blindsided. But as it is right now, I feel like the only people that's getting blindsided by PEDs is the fan base that's wanting to have this idol to believe that they do everything at this high level, and they do it naturally, eating chicken and rice and broccoli and taking their vitamins. Come on, man. I done watched too many documentaries on PEDs and steroids and stuff like that. Everybody I used to look at and idolize when I was a kid, every athlete and every, you know what I'm saying, Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger and Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior, and, you know what I'm saying, all these guys, man, and Lance Armstrong, all these guys have, they take it. They at the top. They're at the top of the sport. You know what I'm saying? All these Olympic athletes. What was that one female's name? I loved her. The one with the pretty smile, the little crooked teeth. She was like the fastest woman in the world. Then she got caught and they took all her medals. That was BS, man. That was just political BS. All those, every single girl she was racing against was probably taking something. The latest little boxing thing that the LDBC was trying to use against that one female fighter, I don't remember her name, but they were saying, look, man, this chick is taking some kind of, testosterone, and then she got caught, and then they had to WBC guy was retracting, saying, oh, she's a good woman, she just is being discriminated against because of her, her lifestyle, blah, 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 blah. She's taking something. Yeah, she got caught taking something. Who's surprised by that? She had to be taken. Come on, man. I mean, just let them take it. They gonna take it anyway. All these guys is gonna take it anyway. Just let them take it. I'm gonna tell you what. If you let them all take it, the best of the best is still gonna rise to the top and be the cream of the crop. Whether they taking it or they not taking it, just depending on their destination, their fate, their training, their belief, their heart. It's heart. It take heart. Your balls make testosterone. How big is the balls? I feel like Deontay Wilder, believes in himself. Period. He believes in himself. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else that's using PEDs that don't believe in themselves, they're using it as a crutch, and that crutch is going to fail them. So they'll lose eventually anyway. So I don't care about, like Anthony Joshua, to me, was relying on PEDs for a point in time until he got beat by Andy Ruiz. And then I think he jumped off the PEDs just to trim back down and say, let me dedicate to myself to this boxing craft. And then when he did that, he came back and won. Because PEDs ain't going to always save you. You know what I'm saying? PEDs didn't save Vargas when he fought De La Hoya. It can go on and on and on. So when somebody get caught using PEDs, it should, to me, at this point, please, man, just stop trying to fool people into believing they watching some sport where all these guys is natural and goody two shoes and nobody's cheating and nobody's playing dirty. They all got something in their system, and who cares? I don't. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? Only time I do care is when it's not transparent, when the other guy has no idea, and he's really, really, really trying to be clean. And he's really trying to be natural and eating healthy and dedicating his whole life to the sport. And then he goes and goes in the ring with somebody that's completely dirty, and then he can get hurt and things like that. That's the only time I say, you know what, that ain't fair. But if it's open, transparent, and out in the open, and you can see the even playing field, you can see what's on the playing field, you know what I'm saying, then it is what it is. And if I see somebody's, myself, I feel like personally, with my genetics and my dedication and my training and my mentality and my heart and all that things, I can see somebody that's cheating right in front of my face, and I'm going to find a way to win. I'm going to find a way to win. And if I don't, I'm not going to use the fact that he cheated as an excuse. I'm going to go back to training harder or doing something different to come back and win the next time. Okay? All right. I'm out. Salute.